Today is the dawn of a new day. Chart Your Trade has been acquired by 50 Park Capital, and it'll be run by its brilliant CEO, Adam Sarhan, his excellent research through chartyourtrade.com. So where does that leave us? Is this the end? We are just getting started. Building wealth is a journey. In fact, it's a marathon. I'm here to help you. I'm here to inspire you. Today, we are officially launching MaraWealth.com, and our mission is simple. We aim to inspire people to take advantage of the stock market. It's called the Trader's Toolbox, and it's free. It's the top 10 things that I wish I knew decades ago when I was first getting started. It's on MaraWealth.com, and you can get it right now. Peace.
Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are. Welcome to the School of Rockstars. This is another episode with the legend Michael Lamothe. He is an excellent trader. So I got an opportunity to talk with him and ask questions about his lifestyle. So I'm super excited for this opportunity, Mike, and he is in his journey of becoming a rock star. So I want to ask him more about his story, his habits, his mindset. Let's get started. So Michael is in the house, so let's waiting for Mike.
Hello?
Hi,
Hello?
Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm trying to get the earbuds to work. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, interesting. The sound is coming through the phone, but all right, let's do it. How are you?
I'm doing great. Hi, friends. Here is Michael Lamothe. He's a father, he's a husband, father, and lifestyle trader, and he's a former CEO of chartyourtrade.com, and he recently started his new business called MaraWealth.com. So, and his passion is to help traders trade fearlessly. And
that's right.
Yeah, he believes that trading is not a not a single thing. It is a journey of wealth. Like wealth is a journey of what you believe, and he strongly believes that winning trades is starts with the mindset. So let's talk with this legend. He's in his journey of becoming a rock star. So I want to know more about your story.
So my story, I'm just putting these things away since it
Okay.
seems to be working. But my story began, my trading journey began when I was about 18. I graduated high school. I got my first job. I saved up a little bit of money, about $5,000 at the time. And I thought that, hey, I want to go and take this and put it into the market and watch it grow. And I went to my local bank and I walked in and I said that I want to start getting involved in the market, and that I wanted to buy some stocks. And they're like, whoa, you don't want to buy stocks. Those are all too risky. What you want are these. And they handed me what I found out later on was a bunch of different mutual funds. And so I started flipping through the prospectuses of those. So like it's, like books about this that tell you about what the different funds do. And they're like, whoa, nobody reads those. Like, what are you doing? So like, I'm like, okay, sir. And I'm like flipping through them a little bit quicker. And then I'm like, okay, I'll put money into this one, and this one. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time. It ended up being a couple of stock mutual funds and a bond fund. And so this was about 1999, and I didn't really know anything about the market at that point. I didn't even know that it was on this uh, dot-com boom at that
Okay.
time. And I looked at my account. I looked at it like 6 months after I put the money in, and it was up about like 6% or 7%. And I was like, I am a genius. This is fantastic. So I started getting more involved with my studies, and I forgot about the mutual funds, and I thought, you know what? Like, I have professionals managing it for me. I am super well diversified. Each of these mutual funds has like 100 or 200 different stocks in them, and I've got time on my side, right? Like, because like all you need to do to win in the market is just take a little bit of money, put it in, wait X amount of time, and then magically more money shows up. So I thought I was set. And when I graduated, I went to see how much money I had left in that account, and thinking that I would go and use that as a nice down payment for a Jeep that I had my eye on. Like, I thought that I would have like maybe about 15 grand in that account. So 5,000 to about 15 was my expectation given that rate of return. And I did not have 15,000 in that account. I didn't have 10. I didn't have 8. I didn't even have the 5 that I started with. It went down to 4. 4 grand
Oh,
after 4 years of sitting around and waiting and having professionals managing this money for me. Like, what in the hell happened? And all I did was like, I just knew that that was a devastating experience. I took my money out. I went home and I cried. And that was my first experience with the market, that despite having uh, professionals managing it for you, or having somebody else managing it for you, or having like a mutual fund, like those kinds of things do not protect us. We're ultimately in charge of our own finances, our own financial health. And it was a painful but a relatively inexpensive lesson, because I only lost 1,000. Uh, most people lose like thousands upon thousands of dollars at this point. So I consider myself very fortunate to get off easy, right? But yeah, that was lesson one of my trading journey over the past
so like,
20 or so years.
yeah, we have like so many other professions. Like, why you choose particularly this trading? Like, you did any education on this, like on finances? Like, what made you to choose the trading as your profession, as your
So
passion? Yeah.
So maybe about fast forwarding a bit, because like that, like I didn't know that I would be falling in love with this as a passion, and then like trying to help other traders do the same thing. So what happened to me? Oh, Bo, I love you, man. I just so we're talking here, and I just see apples flying across the screen. It's wonderful. Have to shout out to Bo, and shout out to everybody else that's joining. Thank you so much for being here. But to answer the question of what, how did I got involved with this? So fast forward about a decade, and another coworker came to me and was like, now you're in middle management. You're making a halfway decent salary. What you should do is learn how to trade the market, and like start taking it seriously and everything, because like I started like when I was in high school, but like I didn't really like get serious until maybe about a decade ago. And so he introduced me to a couple of different books, and the one that resonated with me the most was How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. Fantastic book. Anybody that's interested in trading, I highly recommend it. So I devoured that book, and I found that he created a newspaper similar to the Wall Street Journal, but around his own trading methodology. And I found out that there were all these meetups around the country, and I think they have them internationally too, where other people that are interested in his methodology could gather together once a month and help each other learn. So I went to one of these and I was floored by the level of presentations at these meetups. Like it was similar to like it was the same level of presentations that I was getting in my graduate program. So I have a master's now in healthcare administration, but what I was getting from these meetups was the same level. So I went to these meetups for about a year, and I was doing a lot of trading and work on my own. And then after a year, I went back and I showed these people that were running the meetup what I was doing. And these people are trading professionally, they're trading full time. One of them was even running a hedge fund. And I showed them what I was doing on my own. And they were like, wow, this is really impressive. I'm actually going to take some of what you're doing and copy maybe this, and this. I'm like, wow, if these guys want to copy what I'm doing, right? Because all I did was figure out how they were trading full time and try to figure out, well, how can I take what they're doing and make it more efficient where I'm able to use something similar as a part-timer. And I came up with those efficiencies and they loved it, wanted to copy it. And so I thought, okay, I have something that is worth sharing on a much larger scale. And that was the thesis for my first business, Chart Your Trade.
Awesome. Do you have the family support when you started your first business? Because many families won't support. Trading is it's like a fluctuating thing. So, yeah. Do you have support from your family and your
that was
wife?
super important. My wife, Melissa, has been super, super supportive throughout the entire thing. And it wasn't always easy either. When Chart Your Trade started, it was before my daughter Lily was born. And businesses and growing all this stuff and especially doing it like part-time, it is very time consuming. So it was like she was supportive before Lily was born. Like those were the easy stages. Then she's born about she's close to 3.5 now, and soon after she was born, trading and having a full-time job and having a business like that started to take a toll. What used to take me about 10 hours on a weekend to do research and analysis and draft blog posts ballooned from about 10 hours to 20 hours because of a lot of interruption. And I wanted to spend as much time as I possibly could with Lily and be a good dad for her, and what meant being a good dad to me for her. And I
Yes.
started to get really stressed out because it was taking me like 20 hours to do this stuff, and I wasn't having the time with her. So it eventually got to a breaking point around November, right around Thanksgiving, where Melissa was going to take Lily to see Santa Claus, and it was like on a weekend, and it's like, oh, we're going to go see Santa, oh, but you can't come because you're going to be working on the same. And at that point I was ready to just throw my hands up in the air and say, no, like this is not what I signed up for. Like I want to be a good dad for her, and I was just going to pack it in, and we wouldn't even be chatting here. Thankfully, somebody that I had been working with and collaborating with for a while, Adam Sarhan, reached out to me and was like, no, like you don't need to fold Chart Your Trade. Like here's what you can do. Like tell your clients that like everybody has the opportunity to go and have his service, and if they want to have his service, they could be grandfathered in at my rate. And if not, then we'd happily refund the money. Everybody went for that deal. He provides fantastic analysis and research and a model portfolio that people could follow along with. And it was great. It freed up my time. The clients were happy. It gave me a brand new perspective too, and one that I'm now incorporating into what I'm doing now with Mara, is that we each need to figure out the trading methodology that works for us, and we need to figure out how that changes over time. So I understood that, but I didn't understand not to this extent, how that changes over time. So like when a major life event happens, such as the birth of a child or a new job or getting married or whatever, we need to reevaluate our methodology, like how we're going to approach the market, because it's going to change. So after a life event happens, or I also look at what I'm doing quarterly and evaluate, like, okay, is this still working? Like, what do I want to change and how? And looking at those kinds of things. And it's helped me dramatically, and it's helped a lot of other people that I've been coaching quite a bit as well.
Yeah, because like we have to balance both the family and our profession as well. So
Uh,
that's
yeah, 100%. And that balance
yes,
is going to look different for everyone. Right? Like some people
yes,
will want to be like all in on one thing. Some people will want to spend like maybe 5 minutes on trading or not at all. Like it looks different for everybody. The most important thing is for each of us to figure out what that is to us. So that's why when I think of mindset, it really is the most important element of trading and really like anything. To me, like everything is everything, and
yeah.
that's how I try to relate the world of trading and finance to everybody that I meet.
So, like, why you sold your last business, chatyourtrade.com, and at that time, what are your what all the thoughts you have in your mind? You have like a fear, should
Oh
I do
yeah.
this at this time? Yes, and and also you need to get not a permission, but you need to ask your wife as well because it's
Oh
like
sure. Well, we're a
yeah,
partnership. We're a
yes, that's
partnership. Whatever, anything that affects me in a major way, or affects her in a major way, or affects the family and the household, we're have great conversation together. Like that's one of the things that makes us such a strong family unit.
yes, why you sold that business and what are the fears all you have at that time and what is the conversation, what was the conversation you had with your wife? And what is her first reaction when you told that?
So many questions in here. Well, which one do I answer first?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's all related to
so the first thing, well, the reason why I sold it was so I went to Evan Carmichael's workshop back in May, the first one on how to be a thought leader, and at that point, I thought that I would learn how to grow Chart Your Trade and learn different strategies and grow my YouTube channel and and those sorts of things, and I also met Evan's entire team. So I did a lot of FaceTime with Jay Rise and Lily and Alex and all fantastic people. And what I came to realize was that um, my one word is inspire. What
yes,
inspire means to me, yeah, and it's
yes,
backwards
it's in
right
the
there
back.
on the wall, but
Yeah,
right next to some artwork that Lily made. But
awesome.
yeah, my daughter's name is Lily as well. Uh, but what I learned was that what inspire means to me, there's like I want to inspire others, but it's also needs to inspire myself. Um, there's elements of believe it in inspire, believing in others, believing in myself, a lot of perseverance and love is the third part of the my one word credo.
Inspire. Yes.
And so so I took a look at Chart Your Trade and I was trying to think like, is Chart Your Trade inspire? Is it inspirational? And I built Chart Your Trade before I even knew who Evan was or what your one
Yes.
word is. And so it became apparent that I needed something new. While I still like Chart Your Trade, like the mission to like uh, provide research and analysis and help traders like that. That's fantastic, but it's not what I'm trying to do anymore. So I needed to either sell that business or I needed to close that business, but it was not in line with the value that I'm best suited to offer the world. So, I had this conversation with Melissa. She, of course, is super supportive of everything. And then it was going through the selling process of a business. This is my first business. I never even dreamed of selling it before the workshop, and then within 2.5 months now of from the workshop to being a SOAR client. So Evan and Jay Rice have a business accelerator
Yes.
called SOAR, which I'm a member of. Within 2.5 months, I go from now selling a business, selling it out of multiple, building an entirely brand new business from scratch, and then like all these other things kind of like just falling out of the sky. It was a great experience, and to even go through the selling part, a lot like reaching out to the guy that I was collaborating with, Adam Sarhan. He's the one that eventually bought Chart Your Trade, but to go through the selling process with him and with reaching out to about 24 other different companies, entities, like trying to negotiate like that. That's like super valuable experience that I wouldn't have otherwise. And I'm like, it was scary, but at the same time, very educational. And the thing that I learned too was that we need to, the more specific that we get about what we want and speak that to the universe, the more the universe conspires to make things happen. So when I
Yes.
first was trying to sell the business, it was just like, okay, like I want to sell the business, and at some point, right? So at some point, well, when is some point? Some
Yes.
point is no point. So I was talking with Jay, and he was saying that what you need to do is not like write out, like actually like write out, right? What day you want it to be sold by. So say that Chart Your Trade will either be sold or sunsetted by X. And I actually did that. I wrote out like Chart Your Trade will be sold by, and I put August 1st. And just the
Awesome.
act of doing that was so liberating, like a huge weight off my shoulders already. So fantastic. And at that point, there was some inquiries about it. Like I had been trying to sell it for maybe about 3 weeks at that point, but no like real solid offers. And then like almost as soon as I wrote that out, like within like a couple of days, like I had like 5 solid offers on the table, which were like kind of like blew my mind. And so like negotiating with each one of those, like weighing all the different offers, and then like the best and most logical offer was for Adam to take it over, because all the clients were already receiving his services as the product. Like I was doing a lot of the education, YouTube, that kind of stuff, but
Yes.
the product that people were paying for was his. So just made logical sense, and so that's how that business ended up getting sold. So
Awesome. Yeah. Like, what is your, can you please share your morning routine?
my morning routine. So
Yes.
my morning routine, I'm up at 4:45 every morning, and I will either meditate so I'll go like brush my teeth and do that kind of stuff, and then like by 5, I am either meditating for 20 minutes, or I am going for a run, or doing like some kind of exercise, like first thing, just mm, it's a great way to start your day. And it took like a lot of trial and error, that kind of stuff for me. Having read Jocko's book, uh, Extreme Ownership, I get a lot of motivation from him in that, and I thought that was a great thing to do. If we want to be anomalies, we need to act like them. So yeah, that seemed daunting at first. I'll like wake up at like he's up at 4:30. I'm like that just sounds nuts. Like I wake up at 7 and then like just kind of fall out of bed, hit the snooze button a few times, and then I'll like just kind of carry on. But having put so many positive voices in my environment from people out like yourself, from people out like Evan and all the people that he profiles, and having that constantly be in my ear like morning, noon, and night, like it starts to change the way that you think. And so I started setting the alarm like earlier and earlier, and then like I got to like a 4:45, and now like before my house is up, I've already washed, showered, exercised, meditated, and worked about an hour on my business, and I am ready to conquer the day. And so that's part
Awesome.
of how I've been able to juggle uh, still a full-time day job, building a business that's soon to be like the full-time thing, and still have time for family and other important things too.
Yeah, these small wins gives more enjoyment and like more positivity.
Yeah, definitely. Those small wins count for a lot.
Yes,
And
I thought, yeah.
and when we make them a habit, when it becomes our default to go and do the thing, like that, there's a lot of power in that. Because for most people, the default is hitting the snooze button, kicking the can down the road, I'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow never happens. And we just kind of, like wake up later on in life and wonder what in the heck happened. And I feel as though I've accomplished more in the past 3 months than I have in the past 6 years. And
Yes,
it's
I saw
through
that
all of this.
comment. Yeah, I saw your comment on J Raj
Yeah.
thing. Yes. And how do you like improve mindset game in trading? Like what are the things you do to improve your mindset?
So it's very similar to how you would improve your mindset in general. So you're kind of you're in this space too. So the people that are around you, the things that you're listening to, what you're watching, what you're reading, those kinds of things are all like seeping into our minds, and so that is one of the first things that we need to do to improve uh, our mindset is improve our environment, not just the physical space, but also the mental space as well. Uh, Meditation I found to be hugely important. I've only started meditating now for uh, a little over 9 months or so. Like I started it in January, so like uh, that's uh, uh, about 9 months. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, like the image is getting a bit pixelated, but
Okay. And
yeah.
sleep is
So
also really crucial for traders because like not only traders but all the entrepreneurs
mhm.
the productive sleep and so what do you think about that? Because this how many hours the sleep we get it also affects the decisions we make.
Mhm.
So
I think that
and
sleep is important for most people. The amount of sleep that they get will probably vary. The, well, when I'm working on a major project or well, when I was Evan's most recent workshop in September, I was helping to teach that workshop. He invited me back to help teach. I was super flattered by that. But like even like in May and in this workshop too, like I was on maybe about 3 or 4 hours of sleep every night, but I was wide awake and energized because of the value that
Yes.
that was around, and the energy. So I don't know like how sustainable that is like over long periods, but at least in short spurts, you could get like sleep is less or like the thing that you're doing, the passion it fuels you, and part of that, at least like what I believe too, is the exercise, the eating healthy, and those kinds of things too, like allows, because like our bodies is like a machine that's going to help us do the thing that we want to do. So we want to try to take care of it. Like if we're just like pouring sugar in the gas tank, um, metaphorically, and like like just like eating like candy and ice cream and all these things morning, noon, and night, like it's just not a healthy practice. At one point, like I was up to almost 200 pounds. Like this was like right around like my breaking point that we were talking about
Oh,
earlier. I was in like really bad shape. Like I was getting depressed. Like I started getting sick. I was overweight, like 40 pounds overweight, and just it was terrible. And so back then too, like Adam stepped in, but I also had another friend who was trying to create her own life coaching business, and so she helped look at my diet and help me make changes around that. There was Orange Theory that you probably see me post about in my
yes.
stories sometimes. I found that place. I started going there, and within 90 days, I was able to drop about 45 pounds, and uh, just like a complete 180, right? Like between like going there, like eating healthy, like mindset changes, like everything, like that was the like low, and then just like bounced like straight off of that low. But I had to hit that low point in order for all these other changes to happen.
Awesome. Like you mentioned that mindset and mentality are the key areas for the development. And like what is your primary learning? Like what you read and what you think? Like what is your primary source of learning for you?
Primary source of learning. I enjoy reading a variety of books. There's one that uh, Bo gave me while I was at the workshop that I'm
Look,
working my way through right now. It's the One Path, I believe it's called. It's in the other room, but I think that if Bo is still in here, I think that that's the title of the book. I've just been kind of like going through that like but I should remember the name of this thing. But I want to say that that's the name. So reading a variety of different books, like from things that mindset related, things that are trading related, or anything that would kind of that speaks to me, are the kinds of things that I'm going to go out there and read. Oh, yeah, Bo's still in the room. Uh, that kind of looks like oh well, what is that game where you there's like a video game where like you shoot the little pinballs up and it like explodes the apples or balls or whatever it is. That kind of looks like Bo's comment that just the one thing. Thank you, Bo. So the one thing is the name of the book. Fantastic book. Speaks about domino theory um, and other things like that. So those kinds of things are super important. When I listen to Evan's channel, uh, well, like I found Jocko through Evan's channel, so I went and started reading his book. Just finished reading Tony Robbins' book,
unshakable.
Unshakable. That was
Yeah.
a fantastic one, and another gift from Bo. So thank you, Bo. Um, Ray Dalio's book, and then like all the other trading related books too. Like there's, uh, let me see if I can dig it out of here. There's this one that I'm looking forward to getting back into. Definitive Guide to Position Sizing Strategies. This like textbooks like this, like anything that's going to help me, help my audience. Um, Things around mindset, things around like building like better trading models. I just signed up for Tony Robbins' workshop. What was it called? Unleash the Power Within. So
Okay.
that's coming up
That's in
pretty soon.
November? In
Yeah.
November?
Yep.
So, yeah, yesterday I saw that in events, like a live session. He
Yeah.
spoke
Yeah.
about
So
that.
I'll
Yes.
be going to that. Um, yeah. And the part of what I'm hoping to get out of experiences like that are like personal enrichment, but things that I can then translate into how can this help traders trade fearlessly, and how can I give more value to the world. And so a workshop like that, I see as something that is going to offer fantastic mindset lessons and methods and things that can help uh, traders trade fearlessly, and that's the goal. That's the goal for me at this point. So.
Awesome. Like, when you are trading, what are the characters you look if to invest in some trade? What are the characteristics you look?
So, well, when I'm looking at trades, there's a variety of different things that I'm looking at, and it depends on if I'm looking at it for something that's going to be short term, something that's going to be intermediate, or longer term. Um, I After a lot of introspection, I found out that I'm somebody that likes to do a variety of things, and I used to have everything just like all in one account, and I would try to do everything in one account, but then that got real messy, so I split up my accounts, right? So I have my retirement, I have like intermediate term, and then I have my short-term trading, and that's helped dramatically too. Last year, like able to have triple the return of the S&P, and if you go back to the YouTube channel that I had with the old business chart your trade, like I outlined like every single trade that was made that led to that. Most recently, like yesterday, I was talking about, or earlier this week, I was talking about the stock Tilray. It's one of these cannabis companies, and it was just having this dramatic move, like this euphoric move where it was moving periodically, and some people reached out to me about trading this stock. Like it was at like 100, then it like opened up at 200, and then throughout the course of the day, like it ran all the way up to 300, and I posted that like this is what euphoria looks like, right? And when you have these kinds of like uh, gigantic moves where like it, and that this is actually like a textbook kind of a move where like everybody and their mother is like, yeah, like we're going to make a fortune on this, and everybody's piling in, and it just goes up and up and up, and like you could see the volume on the stock chart too, like so like all these orders coming in, and it's completely abnormal. It gets to this point where there's nobody left to buy, and then right after that, it tends to implode. That's exactly what happened over the past 2 days. So so it ran over the past 30 days, it's up over 600%. Hits 300 on Wednesday. Today, I haven't looked at where it closed because we've been on the call, but when I saw it at around 3:30 today, it was trading at around 125.
Okay.
So like it imploded 60% in 2 days, and those are the kinds of things that we can look out for well when they're happening in the market. We can profit from them if depending on what our approach is, right? So like if we see that kind of a move and we are the type of trader that is able to take advantage of short-term moves, we could take that and short it near the top. because like like as it was rallying, like getting like 270, 280, 290, like this thing is going to hit 100, 300 and then collapse. And that's like exactly what happened to the penny. Jay and I were talking, and like it was uncanny. Like how like that was the thought. Like, okay, this is going to hit 300 and then reverse. Like not knowing that it would do it to that exact amount, but that's what happened. And then it proceeded to implode, and then like, yeah, it's just been falling since. There was a couple of people that reached out to me directly. One person in particular that prompted me to even talk about this one, and he was able to save a few grand by getting out. Well, when I had suggested to him, like not watching it implode all the way down to like 150, but like and 125 today. But just to get back to the point of the question, I think like there's like a variety of ways that people can trade it and take advantage of the market. It's a matter of figuring out ourselves first. What kind of a trader do we want to be? Do we want to be somebody that are we somebody that's just going to look at the market and we want to take advantage of it and look at this thing like maybe once a month or once every 6 months? Or are we somebody that wants to be a little bit more involved, or do we want to make it a primary income out of this? Like, well, what exactly do we want to do? And there's enough room in the stock market for everybody to participate and win. Like if you just wanted to invest in the indexes, you could do it and be very successful doing that.
And like I don't have a very good knowledge about like all trading and investment and all these expert things, but like what are your suggestions, like who has like a little knowledge on this, if they want to invest some money, like what are your suggestions to them?
So if people have money and they want to invest it in the market, the first thing that I would tell people to do is so over the past 20 years, like I thought about the top 10 things that I wish that I knew when I first got started. And so I actually like wrote out those top 10 things, and I made videos around each
Thought
of them.
box.
What was
Yes,
that?
you thought box. I saw your website. It
Yep.
is like there is a like section called thought box.
Yep, that's the one. So people should go there, download that thing. It's free, and go through it and go through the videos, and it'll give you a great foundation for the types of things that you need to be thinking about. Because like mindset is right there at the top, and that was something that I figured out much later on, like years and years and years later on. And most people follow the path that I do, and fall into the hole and have to climb out, and then you fall into another hole and you have to spend years and thousands of dollars climbing out, and thousands if you're lucky. Like a lot of people wait until they have like $100,000 to start trading with, and then they start learning, and then they learn all these lessons become a lot more expensive. So the thing to do is to first off, like go through that, figure and learn what types of things do I need to know about in order to be successful in the market, and that'll give you a good foundation. Then you could start with just a little bit of money. There's brokers now that you could trade for free, so zero transaction costs. So you could buy something, sell it, costs you nothing to do it.
Okay.
And the one that I like using is called Robinhood. Don't have like any kind of affiliation with them or anything, but like the platform is fantastic. You could trade from your phone, and you could open an account with I think you could open an account with $0 and like fund it with like $5 or whatever. and I would just tell people, like, if they're just starting out, to get into the habit of putting something in that account, like every week or every paycheck, however it is. So that way you're building the habit of putting something away, even if it is just like $5 or $10 or $100, whatever it is. And then over time, like you just get used to it. Like, and that's how you can build your account over time, while you're learning. And while you're learning, you're going to end up making a wide variety of mistakes. So it's much better for those mistakes to cost you $5 or $50 versus like several thousand later on.
And also like in trading will have like a fluctuations. You see many failures, or you have like a bad days. So how you overcome that bad days and how you get back from that bad days? What
So
you do?
part of it is creating distance between yourself and the bad day. Like we've all like anybody that's traded for any period of time has experienced bad days, and hopefully they experience bad days sooner than later, because well, what can happen too is that you place your first trade and you do exceptionally well. Like that's like the worst thing that can happen to a trader. The reason why is because then they start thinking like, oh, I'm good at this. Like I'm a genius. And then like the next trade happens and then they lose. And then it's like, oh, well, it's because of the market. It's because of bad analysis. It's because of this. It's because of that. It's because of everything else other than themselves. Right? And so to go back to the original question, like how do you do a lot? Like you need to create distance. So like if you're feeling rattled, the best thing that I would do is like the first like step away, take a breath, and go for a walk, like exercise, like just create distance between yourself and that trade. Practice things like gratitude. Like Tony has a fantastic exercise that he teaches, where you place your hands on your heart and you like feel the power of your heart. Like you just like give thanks for this thing that's beating inside of your chest, that's keeping you alive, and you don't have to like think or do anything for this thing to work. And then like thinking about like 3 things that you're grateful for. Like so like for me, birth of a child, getting married, like things like that, like that you just feel so grateful for, and then like have your eyes closed, step into those moments, and then it's real hard to feel like overwhelmed by a trade and also be super grateful for all these wonderful blessings that you have in your life. And so that's a great way to reset and then refocus and then do what needs to be done, with your trading. Also, another point for people that trade, and I do this too, like I set up my trades where it's automatic, where so I figure out where I'm going to get in, where I'm going to get out if I'm wrong, and I place those orders with the broker. So I just place it, and then I can step away, and that plan is there. So I don't have to think like, uh-oh, the stock's coming down. What do I do? What do I do? Well, that plan's already there. It executes, and that's it. So even with that, there'll be times where you'll plan to buy at 100, sell at 95, but something happens and the stock gaps down to 90 and you lose twice as much as you anticipated. There's ways to mitigate those kinds of things too. And when we launched the stock twits room, like I'll be glad to get into more of that, and I'm going to be doing more of these videos too to get into the nuts and bolts of those kinds of things. But there's ways that we can position size where we're in the sweet spot and we're not getting too greedy and we're not getting too timid. And there's a new tool that we built on
Yes,
MarrowWealth.com too, called
yes,
the Trade
that's what,
Emotionator, that helps
yes.
people figure that out.
Yeah, can you tell us more about that? I want to ask the same question.
About the Trade Emotionator?
Yes, so I can.
Sure. So, what the Trade Emotionator is, it's a position calculator. So, like if you want to figure out what the right amount
Yeah,
to buy is, yeah, there it is right there. If you
yes,
want to figure out like what the right amount to buy is on every single trade, this thing will help you, and it will help you know too if you're being too aggressive, just right, or if you're being like so timid that you really need to grow a pair. But like you want to be in the spot where you're risking the right amount. And part of what this Trade Emotionator encourages too is that even to use it, you need to understand like how much you want to risk, what dollar amount you're working with, what price you want to buy at, what price you want to sell at if you're wrong. There's a lot of people that don't even consider where they're going to get out if they're wrong, or like where the it gets people
yeah.
thinking of the right kinds of things right from the very beginning. So fantastic tool. That's another thing that's on the site for free, and my goal is to really help as many traders as I possibly can, and this is one of the ways that we're doing it.
Awesome. And like why traders has to choose Maravel.com and what differentiate you from other traders? Like,
So what differentiates me from other traders?
yes.
Uh, I, from what I've seen, there's very few that focus on mindset. There's a lot of stuff in the markets that focuses around research and analysis and different kinds of tools, and all those things are amazing. And then like mindset is kind of an afterthought. Well, like even in a lot of the books that I've read, like very few of them talk about mindset. Like there's really only one or two that go deep into mindset. One of them, one of my favorite books was Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, and unfortunately he passed away. It was either earlier this year or late last year. So there needs to be a lot more of mindset related discussion in the market. And it's not as prevalent. Like it's more about like what kinds of tools can we build, and while those things are great and they can be sexier things to look at and talk about, mindset is the most important thing, and I'm doing everything that I can to build that into the financial industry and help.
Yeah,
Uh,
like yeah. For that mindset thing, do you have any strategies? Like, do you have any specific plan for it?
well, what do you mean?
Like, you teach through a one-on-one coaching session, and like, what are the things you do? What are the things you offer?
So so the right now we have the one-on-one coaching sessions. We very soon, StockTwits is launching a brand new product called Rooms. So StockTwits is kind of like Twitter, but for people that trade stocks, and they've been around for a number of years now. They have about 2 million or so people on their platform, like all traders, and they just launched like almost too coincidentally that they launched this like right as I sold Chart Your Trade Lot, like so like beginning of August, and
Okay.
they reached out. They wanted to create rooms that would be like dedicated to different topics, and they have free rooms and they have premium rooms. They reached out
Okay.
to 20 people on their platform to have a premium room. I was one of the 20, and I'm the only one that's offering trading mindset. So this is
Okay.
going to be huge. Like it's huge for their community, for the financial community, and I think that this is a very important first step towards mindset getting into the mainstream of consciousness for what people are focusing on.
Yeah, I saw your account on stockbets.com.
Yeah. So that's super exciting. It's launching the beginning of October.
Oh, okay. So you you also give like a talks and collaborations. You do collaborations with the traders. It's like a
Yep.
yeah.
So there's that. I'm doing. So I'm still a part of the New York City Investors Business Daily Meetup group too. Like so, I became a leader of that group. I give talks there monthly, and so far like that, it's those collaborations, and also Schwab reached out to me in August, and I started to collaborate with them a bit too. They have a talk show, Schwab Live, that they do weekly. I went on that earlier this month, and we'll see like how that continues to go. For now, it's getting the word out as much as possible, spreading awareness, doing collaborations like this, and hopefully helping people understand the elements that it takes to be successful in the market, and that it doesn't start with some analysis or a tool or some kind of indicator. It starts here. It starts with
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah, that's your tagline, right? Wealth is a journey.
Yeah,
And yes.
it is.
And also, yeah, this is not related to trading. It's like a funny question. So I'll tell some names. So you have to from that person, what habit or what one thing you want to learn from that one person. Like I'll tell the names. You have to tell a habit or a one thing you want to learn from them.
One habit or one thing that I would want to learn from who?
No, I'll tell the names. I'll list out the names. So you have to first Evan Carmichael.
Oh, okay. What I would want to learn from Evan Carmichael?
Yeah, like if you want to rob one thing, what is that habit or
From Evan, it's got to be believe, right? Like the believing in yourself, believing in others, believing in the spirit of humanity. Uh, Yeah, if I was gonna grab one thing from Evan, like, well, what else would it be other than believe?
okay, Jairus? It's today is his birthday, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw you mention that somewhere too. I wasn't aware. Like, I need to go wish him a happy birthday after this.
Yes.
I don't know if he's in the room, but if he is, happy birthday. If you're watching the recording, happy birthday. And if not, like, I'll go and find you after this and wish you a happy birthday.
Yeah, I saw on Evan's story. So,
Nice.
and also today is like a birthday of Ibrahim, the camera, the person who works with Evan,
Mm-hmm.
and also Jairaj's birthday.
Nice.
And like, what is the one thing you want to learn from Jairaj?
From J Rise, oh my God, so many things. I've learned so much. I refer to him as the Yoda of mindset. It's a lot like I could be a lot like the young Padawan, and like I'm learning the things from him. Like so, how he approaches his business of both soar and helping people rise. Like there's a lot of things that I learned from him that I'm able to also bring into what I'm trying to do to help traders. So how he coaches and his mindset and teaching, and how he's able to, when you're having conversation, like see like the little flares that people shoot off, well, in their answers and in the types of questions that they ask, it kind of like lets you know where somebody's head is at, and it helps you help them that much more. So it's like seeing the question behind the question or reading between the lines.
Yeah,
Those are the kinds of
yeah.
things most recently that has helped a lot. Like he's helped me like more than words can say.
Yeah, he is like his way of thinking is different from all other people. Like if all other people all take like thinking one way, he thinks in a way like opposite way.
Yep.
He always take a positive from like I saw one post this week about weed on his
About weed.
channel. Weed, yeah.
Okay.
So like his description is awesome.
Mm. I don't think I've seen that one. I've got to go back and find it. I see a lot of
Yeah.
these posts. I'm more. I'm creating more content now
Mm,
than I'm
yeah,
consuming.
Mike, 1 second. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, there you are.
Yes. Like, what is the one habit you learned from because Doug Walter, the firefighter?
From Doug, um, to step outside of comfort zones, to not be afraid to uh, express yourself uh, in a variety of ways, to um, to be yourself, to speak with passion and authority.
Awesome. Nina Carmichael,
From
because you
Nina,
saw her, you met her.
Nina was my heroine back uh, in the May workshop. And so her one word is care. And at that workshop, like I ended up getting a splinter in my finger. Like I was down at the coffee shop. I was like touching the table with something or a chair, and I ended up getting the splinter. She like goes like tries to get it out, couldn't get it out. Like goes downstairs to the supermarket of that shopping center that they have TDS at, buys a tweezer, and then like comes back upstairs and is like working for 20 minutes to get like this splinter out of my finger. So
Okay.
for her, she's fantastic. She's fantastic. So yeah, she's my heroine, and yeah, from her, like just like being like a super caring person. That's what I take away from Nina.
And Bo, your
From
best
Bo,
friend. Yes, our best friend.
oh, lots of apples, apples, and babies holding them. From Bo, I love his the way that he interviews people. I love his passion. Um, I love how easy it is to talk with him and joke around. It's great. He speaking to Bo, it's not like speaking to a friend, and he is a friend. But
Yes.
like, well, when you're having like an interview with him, it's unique in that you feel like you're swept up in a conversation, much like this, and you're like you forget that it's an interview.
Awesome. And your wife.
Melissa, oh wow.
Yeah, yesterday only I started following her.
Hmm.
So I and also get to know that she's an author.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she just wrote like the last line of the fourth book in her series. So I'm so
Okay.
super proud of her. Like she's like following her passion as well. Uh, so from her, like the thing that attracted to me to her early on was that like she about her friends, her family. She constantly puts like others ahead of herself. She like very loving, very caring, great mother and wife. Those are the kinds of things that I take away from her, and she's super inspiring and encouraging too. You know, like when we first met, she like we were kind of like like I was more like she was more laid back and I was more like the planner, and like we both kind of like rubbed off on each other quite a bit, so so it's worked out.
Awesome. Like, what is that one habit you grab from
The one
Lily Ma?
habit that I grabbed from Lily, from my daughter
Hmm.
Lily, or from Lily Ma?
Yeah, both.
For my daughter, she has such fantastic empathy and like such great like self-talk, and she's only 3 years old. For example, right? So we're at the park, and she reaches out for this fireman's pole, right, to like slide down the pole, and she like reaches out for the pole, and she's like, "Come on, muscles, you can do it!" And then she jumps up and goes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. It's great, and she's learning more confidence, and just like a fantastic child. She's already learning to read. And did I mention she's 3? Like it
Yes.
blows me away, like with what she does every day. I'm so proud of her and love her so much.
Yeah,
If,
and from Lily Ma?
from Lily Ma, I look at her as a sister, and she is great at holding up the mirror and having you see a reflection of yourself and see things in yourself that you probably would not see otherwise. And she's also somebody else that is super easy to talk to and open up to. And yeah, like at that first workshop, like I was able to tap into things I thought about uh,
Okay.
for like 30 years prior to like figure out like why I'm doing what I'm doing,
Yes.
and why and how and why, and not like making different connections, and so those are the things that Lily has given to me.
Awesome. Alex?
Alex is like a shield. Alex is like a shield, and like even like at the first workshop, at this workshop too, like I sent him like a little emoji of like a shield with his name on it. And hello,
Hello. Yes. Yeah.
hi, can you hear
Hello.
me?
Yes.
There I
Yes.
am.
I can hear.
Yeah, a call
Yeah.
came through, and like yeah, I don't know how to stop the call, but still like have
Okay.
this going on. But anyway, so yeah, Alex is like a shield. Like he teaches so much about vulnerability and how vulnerability can be used as a strength instead of a weakness, and that it helps others open up as well, and you're able to have like much deeper connections as a result. uh that's what Alex has given me.
And who the most like three inspirational people in your life?
3 inspirational people in my life. Oh man, that's there's so many inspirational people in my life. It's uh, hard to narrow it down to 3, but I would go with my family first. So Melissa and Lily, and number 3 I would say J Rise.
Awesome. And Evan is in the fourth fourth
Yeah,
place.
and Evan is 4th. Sorry, Evan, you're not on the top 3. Yes, Jay and
Awesome.
I talk like practically every day.
Yes.
So yeah, like it would be kind of hard to knock Jay out.
Yeah, like it's like almost the end. Like, do you have any suggestions to me to improve myself? Like,
Any suggestions?
yeah, suggestions or advices to me?
Uh, for you personally, like keep doing what you're doing. Like I remember our first conversation, however
Yes,
many months ago, and you were like back then, like we were both like such different people, right? Like timid and shy and unsure of ourselves, but look now, like look how far you've come. Right, like doing
yes,
interviews like this, like doing all the Instagram stories, and like your public face is like everywhere. Like it's amazing. Like
yeah.
I
I
just,
met through like Instagram Live.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that's right. It's a wonderful thing. So I would just say that like keep going. Like you're on the right path. Um, we could always improve. Look for those opportunities. I would also say that like make reflection a habit. Like so, like for me, like quarterly now, like I'm reviewing like everything that I'm doing, like not just in my business but in my personal life too, and like kind of checking in and seeing like is it on the trajectory. So I know what the North Star is, right? Like the North Star for me is my one word, inspire, and like it's kind of like guiding me. Like so, I know that if I end up going too far this way, then that's North Star. I need to start
yeah,
heading that way. Um, and at least once a quarter, or if there's like some kind of major life change, like I'm reevaluating everything and saying like, am I still headed that way?
okay,
So, so I would advise you to do that as well. Like at least like once a quarter, like sit down and come up with your list of everything, like for your business, for your life, for all that stuff. Like write down like and see like are things still heading in the direction that you want to go, and figure out well what it is that you want to try to do as well, and come up with design a schedule for yourself, and that too. Like so I've helped a bunch of people already like come up with a schedule, like a weekly schedule template. Jay, we're just talking about you, man. Happy
Jay.
birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jay.
I love it. I feel like singing happy birthday. Happy birthday
Yeah,
to you. Happy
to you.
birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday
Happy
to
birthday,
you.
dear Jay Rise. Happy birthday to you.
To
Hi, Rise,
you.
brother.
Yes,
Oh, man.
rise up.
It's the best. It's the best.
Yes.
Oh, man. What were we talking about?
Yeah, suggestions, advices.
Yeah, so oh yeah, so the schedule, the template schedule. So like that's been super helpful. That's something that Jay and I did together first too, and then well we came up with a template for how my life looked at, and the schedule that I wanted to try to have. Then later on, I adjusted that like after Chart Your Trade was sold, and now I have Mara and how I wanted to
Barabar.
refocus, and then. When the stock splits thing came up, like I readjusted it again, and so I have blocks of time for the different things that I want to try to accomplish. So like my business, then fitting in time for exercise and health, then blocks of time for family, and then like blocks of time for the day job and things like that too. And so like the schedule template is designed to get me to where I want to go, and making sure that I fit in the things that I want to fit in.
Yeah,
If we don't schedule it, then it's not going to happen. And so that's been super helpful for me, and I uh, gave that gift to 4 or 5 other people already, and they've already found it super helpful. So yeah, if you want, like I could help you figure that out too.
awesome.
But
Yeah,
you, I would advise to do that as well, and then review that template quarterly and see like how you may want to adjust it. Like review it at least quarterly.
okay. Sure. Like, do you have any last words to our audience, or any young traders who want to take up trading as their business, as their passion?
You can do it. If you want to do it, you could do it. It's all in your mind, whether you can do it or not. So if you believe that you can, you 100% can, and it starts with you. And there's like a million ways that you could trade the market. And the key isn't to find the way that works; it's to find the way that works for you. So start with reflection on yourself and work from there. And
Awesome.
to help guide you through that, yeah, just go to marrowwealth.com/box, and you could get the Trader's Thought Box for free. And there's accompanying videos, and you'll be able to get through it in an hour. And within an hour, you'd have saved yourself years of time and thousands of dollars by doing it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
And
so much. This has been a real pleasure, a real treat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep doing what you're
yeah,
doing. I love it.
thank you so much. I'll do it.
All right. The world
Yeah,
thanks you.
sure. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.
Bye bye.